Good evening. This is an addendum to the Withered Heath card review. In that review, I incorrectly stated the text of Beorning Skin-Changer to be that you can put a Beorning Ally with printed cost of 3 or less in your hand into play. It's actually 3 or more, which significantly changes the assessment of the card. So the allies that this card can put into play from the discard pile or from your hand would be Beorn, which would be cost reduction of 4. Beorning Beekeeper, which would be cost reduction of 2, though I don't think that would make Beorning Beekeeper worth it to play. Beorning Guardian, 3 cost card, which would be cost reduction of 1. And Giant Bear, which would be a 5 cost card, so cost reduction of 3. So this, in the situation where you want to play one of the Beorning allies, this card could read cost reduction of 1 to 3, possibly 4 if you're playing Beorn, with the caveat that this cost reduction can only be used on one specific card. I think it's hard to play this card if you're only playing one other ally, Beorning Ally. Such as if I'm only running Giant Bear. I don't think I run Beorning Skin-Changer just for cost reduction on Giant Bear. At least not without some other Beorning synergy. Cost reduction of 3 is very good for a card. It would be a 2 cost Giant Bear. However, it costs you 2 cards to do that. Now in the meantime, while you're waiting for Giant Bear to come into your hand or your discard pile, you do get a 1/1/1 3 health ally, and that's worth something. This card combo is not bad, like Beorning Skin-Changer Giant Bear. Might even be good. I don't think I'd put it in every deck where I wanted to run Giant Bear, but I might experiment with this card. I think it's pretty good. That cost reduction is pretty strong. It's hard to come by cost reduction of 3. In fact, it's hard to come by cost reduction of more than 1, especially out of tactics. And being able to play it from hand or from discard is great too. However, you can only do this during combat, and that is a negative, because you miss out on questing for that round with the card you would put into play. This wouldn't be a negative for Giant Bear though, nor really Beorn, so it's not much of a negative. Beorn and Giant Bear would probably be the best case uses for this card. But it's not much of a negative because Beorn's only 1 willpower and Giant Bear's only 0. I think this card's pretty good, and I might experiment with it a bit. I don't know if I'd be able to find a slot for it in the Elrond deck though, which is where I'm primarily running Giant Bear. That deck is pretty hard to find cards slots for. It's already got pretty insane cost reduction with Vilya and Steward of Gondor. So this cost reduction even of 3 would be less than the methods we already have, and I'm not sure we need more in that deck. But there are going to be decks, I think, where this card makes sense to play. So I do like it. If you're running probably Beorn or Giant Bear. Giant Bear is a card that I like. So Beorning Skin-Changer could give you some cost reduction on that. And it doesn't do nothing while you're waiting for the Giant Bear to come out. That's important. With some other methods of cost reduction, if you can't meet their conditions, it just sits in your hand for a while. This doesn't do that. But I do think you need, as with all the one-time card cost reductions, like gaining strength or Wealth of Gondor, you kind of need card draw to pair with it, because otherwise you run out of cards when you're spending a card on a one-time effect that only does cost reduction. Yeah. So if those conditions are met, you're running, you want to run Giant Bear, Beorn, and you got card draw so that you have extra cards, I think you can run Beorning Skin-Changer as a pretty strong form of cost reduction.